Hello, it is Sunday, November 7th, 2021. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to my New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Sunday puzzle, big old grid, and a roughly midweek to maybe sometimes a little bit tougher than midweek difficulty. But because it is a very large grid, it tends to take a while. So I'm going to try and solve this one quickly-ish if I can. That would be helpful for me today. So we'll see if that permits, if this puzzle permits. Quickly, I'll mention that over on the Patreon campaign, I've put up yesterday, I actually forgot that I had this ready to go, but I put up the most recent Boss Words Fall Themeless League competition puzzle. And I'm getting better at these. I'm getting better at these, or they're getting easier. I solved this one under the par time, which is 20 minutes. I think it took me 17 something, maybe a little under 18 minutes. But part of that was because I wasted 1 or 2 minutes at the very end on a single cell. Anyway, if you'd like to see my my progress improve from okay to quite brutally slow to okay again, you can check that out on the Patreon page over at patreon.com/dailysolve. And you also get enhanced access to the Discord chat server, which is free to join generally for anybody. So find links to both the Discord chat server and the Patreon in the description field underneath the video. So let's move on to some comments from yesterday's puzzle about clues from the Saturday crossword. A couple people clarified this. P points out that cabs likely is a play on the line of taxi cabs that queue at hotels, airports, and large events there to pick people up. That referred to a sort of cab and line were related, and for some reason, I couldn't figure out why. It was sort of a silly oversight on my part. Kathy Swope explains that peds are essentially very cheap, low-cut socks, popular for trying on shoes at a store when you don't want to wear socks or hose. And hush puppies, which I speculated were maybe some sort of potato-based dish. She says, in fact, they are fried cornmeal cakes, and pone is a baked or fried bread that typically includes corn. I had sort of struggled with that a bit. I got there, but I wasn't 100% certain. So thanks for that clarification. And Caleb Albreton explains that grande is actually the medium size at Starbucks and not the only confusingly named size. I think I assumed it was the large one, which I think is fair enough. It's called grande. Tall is the smallest size. Venti, Italian for 20, is actually 24 ounce, and Trenti, 31 ounces. Some digging online tells me they started out with only small and tall, added grande as larger, and phased out small as they were shifting to larger sizes. So this is very odd and confusing. Neil McKenzie says, I can't get the link on 27 down. How does a lead-in to date equal ante, A-N-T-E? And I realized when I saw this question that I'd never returned to that. That was a clue that I must have gotten with crosses and didn't re-examine. And both Caleb Alberton and Chaz Maru explain. Chaz Maru says, ante means before in war, most famously antebellum, before the war. And this commenter leaves some additional legal context and some other things, but yes, ante, before, as in antecedent or antechamber, as opposed to post, essentially. So there we go. I think that's all. Yes, that is indeed all I have from yesterday's puzzle for now. Well, I think there were some more comments, but I'm going to get going. So let's move on to the Sunday crossword by Sid Sivakumar. I've seen this crossword constructor's name before, and edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So, ready to get started? Okay. Wow, there are some long answers in this grid. A lot of open space in this grid. Good Lord, I better make haste. Piles. Oh, and then I forgot to read. The title of the crossword is This and That. It's a Sunday puzzle, so should have a theme, and this and that may relate to that. Perhaps yet another rebus this week? Surely not. I wouldn't think so. But it sort of looks like it might be, doesn't it? Tablet purchases. Well, this could be tablet computers or tablets on which one writes or tablets of medicine or something. Let's see if that S helps. Treat on a tea trolley tray. It could be a scone, often served at afternoon tea. Not high tea. High tea is a different thing. People often erroneously say that. A dealer's enemy. Oh, a narc, probably. A drug dealer's enemy would be a narc, someone who reports on them to a narcotics officer. A symbol of industry. Not sure. To make a flying jump onto a slope. They get left in the dust. Star Trek virtual reality chambers. Hollow something, right? Holograms, I keep wanting to say, but that's not what it is. Hopefully that's obvious when we come back to it. Does this help? Make a flying jump onto a slope. I'm not sure. Rush. Boxer Wolf, who played Artemis in Wonder Woman. Don't know. Oh, Raps Run DMC, e.g., a trio. Sort of slightly deceptively named because Run DMC is named for its constituent parties. So you'd think it would be a duo, but in fact, since one of those is itself a duo, Run DMC is a trio. So a symbol of industry, an ant, maybe? Ants are sort of industrious workers. Apps. Tablet purchases on an electronic tablet. Applications. Okay. Make a flying jump onto a slope. I don't know. I feel as though I should be able to see this, but I don't. They get left in the dust. Oh, prints. You could leave fingerprints, for instance, in the dust. Boxer Wolf, who played Artemis in Wonder Woman. Anne Wolf. I mean, that's a name. I actually don't see any other name that would fit here, so I suspect that's what it is. What is this? Rush. Rush could be a noun or a verb. It could be rush to hurry, or it could be rush. That was a thrill. Clear spirit. Gin is a clear spirit if we're talking about a liquor. Put on pretensions. Island home to Faz International Airport. It's located in the middle of an alley. Put on pretensions. Not sure. Seasonal fast food sandwiches that aren't halal. Well, I think the McRib is a sandwich that the internet loves, and it wouldn't be halal, sort of intrinsically. So that must be right. And foretold the future. Scried, I think, be sort of a slightly archaic word for that. And a certain gasket could be an O-ring in plumbing, for instance. A get-together could be a soiree with those S-O at the beginning, although that leaves two I's, which doesn't look great. Puerto Rico's blank telescope, formerly the world's largest single aperture telescope. I'm actually not sure. Impersonate as a holiday party. Yeah, I'm not sure about soiree. Boy, that's surprising, though. Impersonate at a holiday party could be... I want it to be sort of something as, go as, dress as, but obviously none of those fit. Amtrak service, this is a ostensibly high-speed train in the United States. It actually, I think, has an average speed that I think would put it well below global high-speed train averages. But anyway, it's the Acela train, which is run on the busiest Amtrak corridor, which is Boston to... How far south does it go? I can't remember, but it goes down much of the eastern seaboard. Vegetable in bindi masala. So bindi masala is a curry dish, and bindi is okra, which I'm fairly confident about because of the cross here. And immune system component would be a T cell. I don't remember what that stands for, but I do remember that terminology. Right, impersonate at a Halloween party. Could still be as. Does that help here? Oh, a get-together is a social. A social, yes, can be used as a noun. Okay. Puerto Rico's telescope, right. And twisting together. Something AL, I suspect. There's something sort of like a helix, heliaceal. Not sure. San blank European enclave. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. San Marino looks more correct here. Always good to check the crosses. Shouldn't have. I should. That was quite speculative. That AL at the end here. That was not. That was a little bit silly, but it's a good thing I immediately checked the cross. Twisting together. Enlacing. There we go. Okay. And a certain developer's job could be coding. Let's check those crosses immediately. Drama linked to the resurgence of the name Betty for baby girls. Probably Mad Men, which had a character named Betty. Sort of not always the most sympathetically portrayed character, although I did find her very sympathetic, I must admit. She had a tough situation. Okay, acquired family member. Oh, mother-in-law. Sorry, that took me a moment for some reason. Acquired family member, meaning you gain this family member. You aren't born with this family member. And a fall flavoring is nutmeg. If one tested the censor, say, perhaps cussed on television, for instance, or in a film, test the censor, see if they were going to remove the profanity. And shattered. It looks like smashed, doesn't it? But doesn't fit in the fill. Shattered. Crushed, smashed, none of those fit. Wet behind the ears. Could be naive, perhaps. Oh, bashed, maybe shattered. And a small drink of whiskey. Oh, I would have thought a dram. Oh, actually, it is a dram. Okay, yes. You hear that in Scotland often, a dram of whiskey. Up is risen. To profess something is to aver it, to declare it, state you believe it to be true. A quaint locale of first aid supplies. Quaint. What would be quaint locale? So something that's sort of archaic or slightly outdated. Medicine. What? Or medical. Almost certainly has a C there, though. Style pioneered by Picasso would be cubism. The abstract style of painting. And bhikkhunis are to Buddhist monasteries as, well, bhikkhuni must be a female Buddhist member of the religious order. So a nun in a convent, nun's convent, looks right. I mean, the crosses NU make that pretty clear, I suppose. I don't think I would have gotten that right off the bat, although the convent is a help, and Buddhist monastery. Those two things give you more help than you might. This, I suppose, would be an answer that you could probably do without the convent comparison, but that would be challenging. I suppose maybe for a Sunday, a bit challenging. Okay, anyway, what the waving of a white flag can indicate. Surrender, submission, what could this be? If this were medical, it could be an A, or for medicine, it could be an I. Does either of those help? Not sure. Let's keep looking. Items at TSA checkpoints. Well, TSA is abbreviated here, so that might mean that the answer is abbreviated. It could be the case that TSA is commonly enough abbreviated that it doesn't necessarily mean that. I'm not sure. A command center, a hive, a hub, command center. I'm not sure. It just occurred to me that we've never really looked at most of these long answers here. So we've got piles. This could be tons. I mean, this and that. Could this be and tons or something? Although this is enlacing, which I do think is correct. A lens holder. And fine crystals used in food preparation. Sea salt? And setting for Banff National Park. Okay, this is in Canada. But where? And this is a Disney film with more than 1 million hand-drawn bubbles. The Little Mermaid, I would think. Yes. Okay, great. So does that help anything? Put on pretensions. This G is very odd. I wonder if maybe this isn't Jinn. What other clear spirits would fit in 3 letters? I suppose it might not be. It might not be a liquor. It might be something else. It might be vim and vigor, that sort of thing. A spirit, a zest for life. Excuse me. But I don't know. So let's keep looking. Oops, what am I doing? Oh, I'm entering horrible characters in here. That's bad. Okay. Island home to Foz International Airport. It's located in the middle of an alley. Drones, e.g. Drones could be ants. Ant came up earlier. Drones. Yes, indeed. Ostrich or kangaroo. Oh, bipeds. They both walk on 2 legs. I wonder if that's what that could be. A terse confession. I did. A confession that is terse, that is short. Op blank. Op sit. Latin contraction. A bad person to confess things to. Bad person to confess things to. Oh, impersonate a Halloween party is come as. Right. That was probably a little more straightforward than I made it, but glad to have gotten it eventually. Lens holder. Oh, a rim, maybe. The rim of glasses. And, the Canadian Rockies are the setting for Banff National Park. Yes, okay. I've been there once, and I was trying to think of a city name or province name or something, and that was the wrong road. It is the mountain range, the Canadian Rockies. All right, so a bad person to confess things to. A rat, I suppose, because they will go on and narc on you. Okay, piles. I suppose this is not tons, whatever it is. Reactors? Arecibo telescope? That sort of sounds familiar, actually. Drones, e.g. Drones, for example. What is that? It's located in the middle of an alley. Oh, in the middle of a bowling alley, the 1 pin. Okay, so does that help here at all? Piles. This is very surprisingly stubborn here. Put on pretensions. Act something. I mean, if you put on pretensions, you act a certain way. Act big, maybe? You're acting big. You're putting on pretensions. So clear spirit is Jinn after all. What do you know? And yes, indeed, I'm in, perhaps? Does that help with drones? I dig, maybe? Neither of those helps. Well, it doesn't help me anyway, right this moment. Piles, atomic reactors? That? I wonder what the theme is. I haven't really seen anything yet. Unless this is it. Piles, atomic reactors. Are piles sort of things that you put inside a nuclear power plant to help cause atomic reactions? I'm not really sure. That sort of sounds maybe familiar, but I really don't know. Anyway, the island must be Tahiti. And yes, indeed, would be it is. Oh, and drones. Oh, wow, that's funny. So I suppose it does refer to ants. Drone ants are males. So that's kind of a fun little echo. I don't think that's part of a theme. I think that's just a little flourish on the part of the constructor. Okay, blank mode, 2018 #1 hit for Travis Scott. Not even the slightest clue. To emulate Ella Fitzgerald, well, most obviously this would be sing, because Ella Fitzgerald was a great jazz singer, but that would feel a little vague, so I sort of suspect it's scat, which is nonverbal singing, sort of vocal abstract sounds, and that seems more likely because there's a reason that we would be particularly saying emulate Ella Fitzgerald as opposed to any singer. Blank mode, sicko mode, maybe? No idea. I don't really see what else would fit there. Labyrinth Builder of Myth, Daedalus, and Hollow Domes, Star Trek Virtual Reality Chambers. Make a flying jump onto a slope. What on earth is this? I really don't know. And behaves like a fool informally. Acts this something, acts the, I'm thinking acts the rather than acts a, because a behaves like a fool informally. I don't think they would repeat the a. Acts the, it seems like that's what it is. Oh, holodecks. Does that help this? Pyra? No, not really. Italian wine region, Asti or Asta. I always get this confused. Uh-oh, that's not good. Oh, boy. Not sure about that. All right, we have Rush. Rush. Excuse me. So if this were sicko and this were K, rush, take, make haste. There we go. Yes, make haste. Okay. And, paraski. Okay, well, I really wasn't expecting that to, the crosses to help me out there, but they did, and it's Asti. I really need to remember that. Okay, so Asti is the Italian wine region. Tarot card said to radiate positivity. The sun, I suppose. That radiate is a bit of a clue, isn't it? Or greater. Plus. 5 plus. 5 or greater. A cruise stop might be a pier. A deterrent to a pickpocket. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. A stern glare, in brackets. Could that, so in brackets meaning probably something that is a description of what's happening or a nonverbal cue, something like that. Pissed, maybe PSST, I'm not sure. Remains tightly secured, holds fast, perhaps? Seriously unpleasant, could be vile. With that L. Vendors of e-cigs. Some movie concession areas. Some movie theater concession areas, sorry. Very dark today in the video, aren't I? Eateries serving small plates. Tapas bars, could pier be incorrect? Multi-day event for short. Yeah, probably pier is incorrect, actually. A multi-day event for short could be a fest? For short. I was thinking fair, but that's not for short. That's the full word. So you always want to pay attention to that sort of thing. A cruise stop could be what? I'm not sure. But anyway, what was it that made me think that was wrong? Was it? Oh, I guess it was just fest. Okay. Argument. Some movie theater concession areas. Eateries serving small plates. Spoils. Spoils could be the spoils of war, the gains, the rewards. Could be spoils ruins. Palette piece. Like some very old characters. Runic, maybe? I'm sort of going out on a limb there, but I wonder if it means old, sort of alphabetic characters. Oh, yeah, actually, and then spoils could be hall. Oh, that was a nice little guess there, wasn't it? Palette piece, a slat or a slab, maybe? That would work with S here. Oh, counters. This is concessions, I think, is a pretty US specific term in this context to mean food being sold in a movie theater. I'm not really sure why that is. I've always sort of wondered. I should look up the etymology of that particular usage. But anyway, it would be often sold at a counter. So what sort of counters? Soda counters, but that doesn't fit. Foods counters, very much not the case. An argument. And a cruise stop. Oh, a port. That's much better than pier. I don't know why I was thinking pier. Port, much better. You could have a pier at the port, but the stop is the port. Oh, right. Oh, yes. All of this started, I think, because I thought maybe eateries solving small plates could be tapas bars. So I should put that in, shouldn't I? And an argument could be a case. You make your case, you make your argument. Deterrent to a pickpocket. And a stern glare. Tough bass part or bass part. So it might look, this sort of looks like tough bass part, a difficult part to play on the bass guitar or to sing in a bass range, but there's a question mark, which is the pun indicator or wordplay indicator. So I wonder if, in fact, this refers to bass, the fish, and there's some kind of wordplay going on here. What would be the tough part of a bass, of a fish? A scale of some kind? That could be actually sort of interesting because the scale corresponds both to fish and music. I wonder if it's sort of a double pun. Fish scale, simply as that, I don't know. Zap in a way, well, it could be tase, that would allow the S for fish. And what the waving of a white flag can indicate. I don't know why that white flag thing is giving me so much trouble. Here we have command center, a base perhaps. Oh, and the vendors of e-cigs. I should have gotten this without V, but I didn't. Vape shops, I suppose. Boy, this really could be fish scale, couldn't it? And then quaint locale of first aid supplies. Medicine chest, a medicine chest, yes. Okay, that is a somewhat quaint place to keep your first aid supplies, a medicine chest. You rarely hear that these days. So, a deterrent to a pickpocket. A belt, some kind of belt. Model belt. That doesn't sound right at all. Stern glare. Actress Meyer of Beverly Hills 90210. I've actually never seen Beverly Hills 90210. What a shocker, right? Based on this series. But I don't know who this is. Lisa, maybe? Doesn't look very good. Nina? Oh, yeah, that could be candy counters if it were Nina or something like that. Candy counters. Important sales for growing businesses. Important sales for growing businesses. We've got another question mark. We've got another pun indicator here. So, cash crops. To grow a crop, but obviously a cash crop also metaphorically, idiomatically, refers to a particularly lucrative, repeatable line of business. Deriving from the agricultural meaning, obviously. Tough bass part or bass part. It really does look like fish scale. And business brass could be CEOs, chief executive officers, and then the C of C major. So we've got another musical clue here. The root of a scale or a chord is the first note of that scale or chord. And in this case, C major's root is C, unsurprisingly. Okay, tough bass part. I suppose this isn't technically a musical clue, but it sort of is hinting at one. So if this were fish scale, items at TSA checkpoints would indeed be bins, and what the waving of a white flag can indicate. Finished? Oh, actor Idris Elba. Final. Why am I really don't understand why this one clue here is so persistently tricky for me. Hiking aids, trail maps, there we go. And a dairy-free coffee additive. Oat milk, perhaps? One of the many increasingly popular milk alternatives. Grasps at straws. And we have a question mark here. So, some kind of pun or wordplay again. And what the waving a white flag, right? Final something. A Ripley fabric pattern. Is that moire? Which I think has given its name to a broader optical phenomenon in which sort of overlapping concentric lines sort of appear to shimmer in an interesting way. Badly hurt someone is to maim them. VIP access points. I am not sure. What about this? Grasps at straws, right, and it's some kind of pun. Slots? Oh no, draws no, not slots. Draws lots, right. So when you draw lots, you pick the straws from someone's hand, and one of the straws is shorter than the others, and if you get that one, you have to do the bad thing, or I guess get the good thing, conceivably. And so grasps at straws, literally. So there's our pun. Final lap in a marathon or something, I suppose the waving of the white flag can indicate. There we go, final lap, great. Okay, evidence of a crossword solver's mistake, maybe. The eraser, not me, because I'm solving it on a computer. But erasers, evidence of a crossword solver's mistake, maybe. Maybe I've made a mistake and I need to erase this. Erasers seems odd. I mean, it's clearly erase something. Erasing, maybe? NBA coach blank unsold junior, I don't know, but with 3 letters could be less, maybe? Quiver could be tremble, no, it's not. Tremor? Harped on. Well, that doesn't look like less anymore. Oh, dwelt on maybe? Because this could be Wes Unseld Jr.? Dwelt on is sort of odd. I'm not really confident about that. Images on some Australian silver coins. Mythos. Predator frequently appearing in Calvin's Daydreams and Calvin and Hobbes. Maybe this was erasers. Because this could... No. What is this? T-Rex, I would think, in Calvin and Hobbes. Blank positive movement, sex positive movement, I would assume. Mythos would be lore. Images on some Australian silver coins. Emus, perhaps? Oh, erasure. Evidence of a crossword solver's mistake, maybe. Erasure, the evidence of erasing. I see. An NBA coach, Wes Unseld Jr., I guess. So this is tremor, I suppose. Okay. Tremor, quiver. There we go. Great. Capiche? That means understand, or you get it, or you see. But I'm going to jump back up because I think we've skipped quite a few clues, actually. As I've sort of followed this, I've very resolutely followed, actually, this diagonal line created by these black squares in the shape of the grid. Oh, although we never filled this out here, did we? So, actress Meyer, Beverly Hills 90210, something INA. Nina, Rena, Lena, maybe? None of those seem obviously correct to me with this stern glare. That's sort of frustrating. And then deterrent, oh, a money belt, I suppose. A deterrent to a pickpocket. You keep your money in a belt, I guess. And then a stern glare. What on earth? Something else wrong? Fine crystals used in food preparation. Sea salt. What else could that possibly be? So stern glare. Sorry, I'm going to glance at the keyboard, look at the letters, see if anything jumps out at me here. Not really. What am I missing? I'm sorry. Apologies if you're yelling at me about this. Actress Meyer, I mean, Nina, Lena, Rena, remains tightly secured, holds fast. What is this? And that looks right. Money belt looks right. Sea salt looks right. This must be staring me in the face. It's incredibly embarrassing. The reason I'm dwelling on it is because this is it. This is the end of this whole area. If I don't get this, Oh, it could be stern glare as a directive which corresponds to the word don't. Don't do it, stern glare. So I think I misled you and myself when I explained what was going on with this bracket. In this case, I think it's just the stern glare. So often when you see things in brackets in the New York Times crossword, it means that the answer will that the answer itself is sort of nonverbal or a directive or a description of an action. But in this case, it's just the clue that is that, and the answer is something you say. Oh, okay. Boy, that really took ages. Okay. 2017 CVS Health acquisition. I don't know. That's a sort of convenience store brand in the US. Totally wipes out. Could be eats it if you wipe out on the slopes after paraskiing, for instance. Pallet piece could be a slat of wood. I think I said that earlier. A pallet, a wooden sort of frame for carrying large boxes and things. Really grooves with something. Feels it? No. I want it to be something's it. Really grooves with something. Digs it, maybe? Acts the... Oh, right. We never finished behaves like a fool informally. Acts the clown. Oh, that doesn't fit. Fool would be the most obvious, but that doesn't fit. Or rather, it does, but it's already used in the answer and your clue. And you're essentially never going to repeat a word from the clue in the answer. And I do think that extends even to seemingly inconsequential words like a, which is why I immediately filled this with act the rather than act a, because I didn't think the a would repeat. Okay. Valorous. Brave or successful, or I don't know. Word with zone or boots. Combat zone, combat boots. I wonder what this or that is. I don't really, this and that. Haven't really seen any sort of theme yet. Boeing competitor would be Airbus, the European, why am I not typing? There we go. European aircraft manufacturer. Really grooves with something. It does look like digs it, but acts the... Don't know, still not seeing it. Valorous. This does look like slat, this palette piece at this point. Did I get an extra cross here? Oh, I think I added the E to acts the Aetna. Aetna maybe is an insurance company, I think. So CVS Health acquisition, sure, why not? Okay, was completely exhausted. Something out. Or up. Reduce in rank, demote. And really grooves with something. I suppose it is digs it. So acts the... Why? Another one that feels like I should be able to get, but I'm having trouble doing so. Oh, heroic is valorous. There we go. Sorry. Also should have been easier. Acts the goat. Behaves like a fool informally. Acts the goat. I don't know that I recognize that, but that seems plausible. Was completely exhausted, right? So something out. Could be ran out. So that could be not necessarily even a person, but it could be a thing like a battery. The battery was completely exhausted. The battery ran out. Works at the cutting edge. Hones a blade, a cutting edge. And there's a question mark, a pun indicator here that sort of points us in the direction of something a little bit clever. Hot in Havana. Caliente in Spanish. Employees who work a lot. Employees who work a lot. So I wonder if this means who work a lot, meaning sort of, I'm wondering if there's something slightly punny but still literally true going on here. The things I was wondering, none of which are getting me anywhere, were work a lot as in to sort of work to knead something, K-N-E-A-D, I mean knead bread dough, for instance, but then also who work a lot. Oh, a lot as in a car park, a parking lot, a valet who will park your car. That's what it is. a butcher's offering and gives a thumbs down. Give a thumbs down. Vote no, maybe? And not at all. And capiche? Oh, get me or got me, capiche. You get it? You understand? Capiche? I don't know if it's get me or got me, though, so let's look elsewhere. Butcher's offering. Oh, raw meat. I was looking for something that was a bit more jargon related to meat or butchery, but nope, just raw meat. Fair enough. Not at all. Oh, no wise. No wise, no how. Sort of slightly archaic slang. Unfashionable. Not in, perhaps? Not currently fashionable, not in. A special delivery. Don't know. VIP access points. Prime. Private entrance. Yes, there we go. I kept saying teen, and I thought that doesn't seem right. Must be two different words. Private entrance. Oh, entrances, sorry, because it is VIP access points with a plural. And here's an example in which VIP is abbreviated, but the answer is not. And I think that's because VIP is overwhelmingly used more than the unpacking of that initialism, very important persons. So because VIP itself is essentially a standard word, we don't need to take it as an indication of abbreviation. Actress Maori of Sister Sister, Tia Maori, I think, if I remember correctly, from back in the 90s. Authority, metaphorically. Rep for reputation, that doesn't seem right. Reg for regulation. Here we have nutritional plan involving controlled removal of foods, elimination diet. Nope, I spelled that. Mistyped that very much. Okay, elimination diet. There we go. And a special delivery. Still not seeing it. So this looks like contest, a noun. Contest, a game, a competition. But I think, in fact, it's contest, a verb. To vie, to contest something, to vie for it, I think. Or to be a contestant, to vie, that maybe slightly more accurate in this case. Anyway, slightly spoiled in a way. Gamey, I guess. Is that... I don't actually know that I've realized you could apply gamey to slightly spoiled, but I suppose, as in meat, I suppose that sort of fits. And label signing, a band, a music label might sign a band. Authority, metaphorically, right? What is this? The rod, as in sort of the rod and the rod and the lash or whatever. Anyway, my access to other metaphors is failing me here, but anyway, rod often used metaphorically to describe authority. So, special delivery is a keynote address. And we've got that question mark indicating some sort of pun. This is a very light pun, I would say. A delivery, an address, someone who's speaking at length, and a keynote address is a special one of those. It's usually the opening address at a conference or something, or the spotlight one. Okay, bespectacled Peanuts character. I don't remember a Peanuts character with these letters, but presumably will when I see some crosses, but I don't right now. Gives a thumbs up. Don't know. Talk show slate. It would be guests on a talk show. And a rail in a dance studio. Oh, bar, B-A-R-R-E. Time off for short. Oh, R and R. Well, that's a this and that. Were there other ones with these that I missed? What am I not seeing with this theme? Someone's going to have to fill me in. Big name in pasta sauces. Ragu is a... Oop. Where am I? I seem to sometimes lose keyboard input on this computer. It's sort of odd. No? And sometimes I just type the wrong thing. What am I doing? Okay, Ragu. There we go. Apologies. Gives a thumbs up. Agrees. Oh, Darcy? I don't remember that character, really. Bit of reading near a cashier in brief. Oh no, Marcy. I do remember that character. Sorry. Marcy always refers to a different character whose name I can't remember as Sir, I think. I think I'm remembering the right person. Anyway, bit of reading near a cashier in brief would be a magazine. Is that it? Yay. So that was the Sunday puzzle. Boy, Sunday puzzles, they are big and long, aren't they? They really are. So quite a few very long answers actually in this grid, a lot of open space. Even the shorter answers were pretty long. We have some 4-letter answers and maybe only 6 or so 3-letter answers in the whole grid, which in a Sunday doesn't feel like that many. Just a lot of letters in this grid, quite a few letters in this grid. And I don't really understand the theme. What is going on? This and that. I don't know. Maybe someone will have to tell me. Maybe is this and that indicate that there's no theme? I'm sort of just wildly guessing there. I have no idea. Yeah. Anyway, I thought this was a very good puzzle in terms of the spread of challenge and range of clues and things like this. But boy, these are long. These Sunday puzzles, when they're not pushovers. And this didn't ever completely stump me for a long period of time, but it certainly wasn't a straightforward pushover. And boy, they just take so long. I mean, they take considerably longer than even quite a difficult Saturday puzzle for me anyway. It is quite a trek. But it was well constructed. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy all of these very long answers and the wide range of clues throughout the puzzle. I suppose there are more than 6 3-letter answers, maybe 8. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Nope. I already see more. 10. Pointless train of thought. Let me know how you fared with this puzzle. If you enjoyed it, if you found it difficult, and if you have any idea what's going on with the theme, this and that, because I don't. I don't quite see what it is. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here speculating further because I don't think I'm going to come to any conclusions. So let's wrap this up. I hope you enjoyed this puzzle. If you did, please do subscribe to the series. And then you will see these videos as they go up each day according to whatever your notification preferences are. And if you think you know someone who might like this series, please do pass it along, either to someone directly or to your home on the internet, where people who also reside in that place might enjoy it. They might discover that they enjoy this strange thing. And if you particularly would like to support this series directly, head over to the Patreon page at patreon.com/dailysolve, where you can find all sorts of bonus solves, such as that newest Boss Words Fall Themeless League competition puzzle that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, as well as other things. The New York Times monthly puzzle, mini puzzle speed solves. It's all up there on the Patreon, as well as special access, enhanced access to the Discord chat server, which is free for anyone to join, generally speaking, and an exclusive mug, depending on the level at which you back. And if you back at that level, you also are recognized at the end of these videos in appreciation for your generosity. And today, I would like to thank Stephanie Fredericks, as well as the inestimable Hood Monster and the incomparable Shantanu Bhatia. So thank you, Stephanie, Hood Monster, and Shantanu, for your generous and ongoing support. I really appreciate it, and it keeps this whole thing going. So thank you for that. And thank you to all the rest of you who have backed the Patreon, and thanks to you for watching this video all the way to the end of this long Sunday solve. I hope you'll be back tomorrow for a much easier, much quicker, presumably, Monday crossword. I will most likely see you then. There's a chance something will go wrong and I won't be able to record tomorrow, but my intention is to do so. Either way, there will be something on the channel. So come back for whatever it is. All right, until that point, have an excellent remainder of your Sunday. Take care.